Good afternoon. My name is Michael Michelle, Queens Republican, President for the 2015 year. Commissioner, starting from my left, please introduce yourself.
Michael Rendino, Bronx County, Republican Commission.
Ron Castorina, Richmond County, Republican. Good afternoon.
Simon Schiller, Kings Republican.
Frederick Humane, Manhattan Republican.
Alan Silver, Manhattan Down.
Marie Costello, Richmond Dental.
Jose Roger, please demonstrate.
Bianca Perez, Bronx Democrat.
Senior staff.
Dawn Sandell, Deputy Executive Director.
Howard Vasquez, Director of Communications.
Georgia Gonzalez, Operations Manager.
Pamela Perkins, Administrative Manager.
Nina M. Crispino, Director of Personnel.
Kenneth Dalton, Catholic Commissioner.
Stephen Dankberg, Council.
Steve Richmond, General Counsel.
Rafael Sino, Deputy General Counsel.
You need a pen?
Okay, thank you. Has everybody had a chance to read the minutes of July 14th?
Have to abstain.
Yeah, we just want to make one change. Executive session, call one, commissioners unanimously terminated Milagros Herrera, who's a VMT, not a clerk in the Bronx.
By that change, everybody okay with the minutes? Second? All in favor? One abstention? Okay. Mr. Richmond?
Thank you, Commissioners. Two items for your consideration. First, for the final week of cover sheet review, I'm asking that you designate a committee to meet this Thursday at 3 p.m. They will be reviewing all of the amended cover sheets that are due at midnight tonight based on the committee's actions last Thursday. And finally, a committee to meet at 3 p.m. next Monday, which will act on any amended that come in based on today's committee's meeting. And this way we'll have everything completed prior to the start of the hearings. For volunteers.
Volunteers, anybody?
Which day, say it again?
Thursday, July 23rd, Thursday of this week, and next Monday.
The 27th.
Commissioner Rendino.
What time on Thursday?
3 o'clock, Commissioners.
We could change
We could change it if you need it earlier or later, but.
That should be fine.
So Commissioner Shamoon for Thursday, Commissioner Rendino for Monday,
Need,
Commissioner Perez need 2 Democrats.
okay, which one?
Oh, whichever one nobody else wants.
We need another, either for Monday or Thursday. Thursday. Okay, Thursday, we need one. Our hearings start,
Tuesday morning at 10 a.m.
I'll commit Monday.
You will, thank you, Commissioner Costello. Thank you, Commissioner.
Do it a little earlier than 3?
Yeah, Commissioner Shamoon is,
No,
no, Commissioner Rendino, is 2 o'clock good?
Okay, I didn't bring my book with me. Will you look at my book?
Well, why don't we do this? I'll put a time to be announced, if you can get back to me in the next day or so. Anytime, I guess, that's convenient for you guys.
I'll get back to you.
Okay, but we'll do it sometime in the afternoon then, but anytime that you commissioners agree, then we'll post it, okay? Commissioners, the second item you have in front of, in your folders, is the draft public notice for the schedule of hearings. We've prepared the draft based on 3 factors. The number of specifications submitted that the boroughs have to work. 2, the respective New York State Supreme Court calendars, where there are some conflicts in terms of the election proceedings. Manhattan and Brooklyn Supreme Court have scheduled their return dates for Tuesday. The Bronx is scheduled theirs for Wednesday. So since some of the attorneys will have to be in both places, both here and at court, we try to accommodate that in the draft. And finally, we've tried to accommodate your normal schedule. So the proposed draft would be on Tuesday, July 28th, beginning at 10 a.m. Richmond County, beginning with the prima facie matters for each borough, then the specs, and followed by Bronx County, both prima facie and specs. 1 o'clock,
We have, for Richmond County anyhow, there's a lot of specs we're working out. We're going to meet if
there's
it's
10,
possible.
there's 10 specs.
We can switch with somebody else for a later time.
Well, Bronx and Staten Island both have 10 specs. And that's the lowest under than Queens, and Queens, we're trying to accommodate both the court calendars and the others to put them in the afternoon.
I spoke to my staff this morning, they're probably not going to be ready for Tuesday morning. There's a lot of issues with the objective specifications.
Can we start, what about,
Wanna
can
start
we
the
start
Bronx?
later?
We want something
Yeah, I
later?
think later.
Or do you want to start with the,
Right.
or do you?
Just
Tuesday after?
You want to start just at 1 o'clock with your meeting and then go
We're
right
meeting
into
and then
hearings?
go into it.
Okay.
Is it possible for Wednesday, Staten Island?
Well, Commissioners, this is flexible. Again, the reason we put Brooklyn and Manhattan on is that Brooklyn has 59 specs, Manhattan has 66, which are the greatest to give them a little more time. So,
Brooklyn
So
has
we-
59 specs and Staten Island has 40 to 50?
no,
No.
it's prime rate at 10.
10.
We could start all at 1 o'clock, just
You wanna
Richmond,
start at
Bronx,
1?
Queens.
Queens in the afternoon on Tuesday. And we may go a little later, but that's.
Steve, how late can we go? Is it possible to go
You can go
on
as,
Thursday?
if we, Commissioners, that's up to you. We
That would be,
what we have tried to do is do the hearings in 2 days for the 5 boroughs and reserve Thursday for anything that had to be recalled or reworked, and you usually designated a committee less than the full board to hear those, what I call straggler matters.
Could we just talk to Bronx and see if we could switch and put the Bronx on first and
But
Staten
would,
Island
would,
second?
would an hour help the Bronx? Is that now or
No,
not?
it's an hour.
No, it's not gonna help.
So
no.
why don't we just do it start in the afternoon and stay a little later?
Well,
It's
then,
10 o'clock.
Commissioner Roger, if you're still available for 1:30, right? Would it help if we reverse the order, started with Queens at 1:30, then Bronx, and leave Richmond last? Would that,
That makes sense.
would that help to give Staten Island until about 4 o'clock, so that we give them till 4 o'clock on
Yeah, leave
Monday?
Richmond last.
Yeah, that would
The
work.
last on Tuesday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or would you want to move that to the
That
end
works.
of, on Wednesday?
Preference to Wednesday if that works. The last on
Yeah, we
Wednesday.
don't have many people working to be able to work on the specs, that's the other issue.
Problem.
So put them Wednesday after New York County.
Okay.
Later in the day. 4
So we're
o'clock.
gonna, Commissioners, we'll start at 1:30 on Tuesday, with, at 1 o'clock for your meeting, or you want to leave the meeting at 1:30 and start afterwards? Leave the meeting at 1:30, and immediately thereafter Queens County, and then Bronx County. And then on Wednesday, 10 a.m., Brooklyn, Manhattan, and then we'll put Richmond as the third item.
And we can do that later in the day around 4 p.m.?
It may not go that, Commissioner, even with 60 specs in Brooklyn, Manhattan, even if you take a lunch break, you'd probably be calling Staten Island about 2 o'clock.
We can put it back though.
If it ain't ready, they're not ready.
Right.
Let's say-
Remember, it has to
let's
be
say-
ready 24 hours.
Hours in advance, and they have to be finished, they have the reports out to the clerks, to the objector and the candidate, at least 24 hours before the commencement of the hearing.
So we have on Thursday at 1:30 all of deferred matters, if any. Can't we just put Staten Island in there
10 a.m.
You want to do it at
It has to be
1:30?
after-
on Thursday?
has to be there. Thursday.
Thursday at 1:30?
Yeah.
Sure, Staten Island,
Is that all right?
So we'll do 3 days of hearings then this year, okay?
It works for
That's
the
fine.
commissioners, it's fine.
We'll put the Richmond County ahead of any call of deferred matters at 1:30 on Thursday?
Is that good?
That's on the-
Prefer later in the day. I have
No,
a-
Thursday, July 30th.
Thursday at 1:30?
Thursday at 1:30.
That's okay, I'll just come right to the six.
Okay.
Are you sure that you really need the extra time and the extra day?
Yes.
Okay, because maybe the general office could send people to help if
Well, can we make a phone call, how about that? Can we
We
get
need-
back to this issue?
We need time. We need Thursday at 1:30. We need it.
Okay. That's the consensus, Commissioner, everything
So it's Tuesday
at 1:30,
okay.
Wednesday at 10, Thursday at 1:30. Commissioners, normally we would ask them, with that schedule, would ask for, I'd ask for a motion for you to authorize the posting of the calendar.
All in favor? Opposed? All opposed? Nobody? Carried. That's it. All right, do you have a litigation?
Well, Commissioners, we've gotten so far 2 orders to show cause, and both of them contain provisions that are not in accord with your adopted rule, I believe it's K, if I remember correctly.
Page 21 of the rules.
Yeah, but the rule, yeah, Rule K, that judicial proceedings to take the notice. So what I'm asking for is authorization to request the law department to negotiate with the opposing counsels to see if they would modify the order to conform to that, or if not, seek the necessary stay of the direction to us to produce documents in the appellate division under the civil practice laws rules. Otherwise, I think commissioners, our own rule then has no meaning, and then we're still under the attempt of bringing in the old kitchen sink provision, which most courts have not used, but in this case, two councils got a judge in Kings County and a judge in New York County to sign provisions that are somewhat variant with our rules.
In their order, in the actual order?
For the show cause, yes. Without, again, the whole reason was we adopted the rule, in effect, granting consent to an ex parte entry of an order against the governmental body.
So, Steve, just to be precise, in the order to show cause, a Supreme Court judge objected to or changed or modified?
No, they signed the language put in by the attorney, not in conformance with our rule.
Okay, so is that something that we need to go to the appellate division on?
Well, if the council doesn't consent to the order, then we would have a right under the CPLR to seek to vacate that portion of the order
Or
because
at
it
least
was.
stay it?
Well, no, because it would have been imposed on a governmental body without notice and without consent.
Correct.
And that's what we've done in the past. If you look at, as Raphael pointed out, in the rules, we've adopted an ordered paragraph that we have consented to. In the case of the Brooklyn order, they used that and added an additional paragraph. In Manhattan, the council wrote his own paragraph.
I have some copies of the cause if anybody's interested.
I think we should authorize court counsel to act, but in our sort of collective experience, one's faced with now having to go to the appellate division for something that's relatively simple. My experience is that counsel has agreed and that the courts have sort of backed it up, and they modified it. It's just simpler to go back to the original court and the original judge to have it changed.
Is there a stipulation to that extent?
There have been, in prior years, the orders have been modified and it has been a so ordered modification.
We don't have that yet, correct?
Not in these cases, we've had with prior cases. We've negotiated with various councils, as Commissioner Humane indicated, some councils have been very cooperative, some councils have taken a little cajoling, and having the inspector of the appellate division usually made them more willing to negotiate.
And the issue is whether we have to bring all of the files having to do with the whole county over to the Supreme Court.
On the first day.
On the first day. And that's why it's a little overbroad.
First day is usually just scheduling, and a lot of times.
My concern is whether or not we are protecting the integrity of our rules without there being either a step or without going the appellate division.
No, Commissioner, if the council would agree to modify the provision, there would be a so ordered
I know, but
step.
when will we know that?
As soon as with your authorization, we reach out to the two councils, Mr. Maslow and Mr. Connor, and see what response we get.
They haven't changed their forms. They've both been around a very long time and they haven't changed their forms.
So then I guess the motion should be for you to contact them and to
Well,
determine.
no, it's usually court counsel.
Court counsel rather
Yeah.
than contact them, authorize court counsel to contact them on our behalf and determine whether or not we're going to engage in a stipulation to deal with this issue, correct?
I think, Commissioner, is that, I think the authorization would be the court counsel to take whatever steps necessary to comply with our provisions of the rules, and that's the
Correct.
first step that they normally
Correct.
go.
Correct.
But again, we've
We're not
had,
going to micromanage.
but we've had
counsel,
once,
of course
at least
not.
one other case where literally we had to have a hearing before the judge, and it was in Queens County where we came up with an acceptable version of language, but Judge Weinstein convened the hearing between the
It's
parties.
just important that we,
But there wasn't gonna be consent.
that we protect the integrity of our rules.
And the administrative judge has in the past circulated
Reminder.
information and a reminder to the judges.
It's a great idea, yeah.
I know that in Manhattan, the judge who signed this is not usually in the election law part. And it's my understanding Judge Billings was assigned, and this time it was signed by Judge Ramos, who's a very good judge in the commercial part, but is not necessarily familiar with the
And
election law
a
stuff.
similar situation occurred in Kings County where Judge Walker, who is familiar with the election laws, was signed, and the order was signed instead by, I guess, the emergency judge in Part 1. In this case, as the order says, Judge Jimenez for Judge Walker as well. And normally, and we have calls into the respective law departments of Supreme Court in both counties. Usually they review the order too, but,
So, Fred, you want to make that motion?
Okay, I move that we authorize court counsel to take appropriate steps to preserve our rules and to limit the amount of information that's required on the opening day, and that we hope and expect that any hearings will be, that require the full provision of our books and records be done at the local boards rather than in the courthouses. And only such information as specifically directed by the court have to be brought to the courthouse.
Motion second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Carries. Any other business before us?
just a reminder that Commissioner Sherman and Commissioner Perez is the Commission Review Committee. We'll do it right here, so nobody has to move.
Okay.
Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday at 1:30.
No,
Commissioner.
1:30,
I don't
they
know if
said.
you introduce yourself for the record. I know you arrived.
John Plateau, Kings County Democrat.
Okay.
President.
So 1:30 and Commissioner.
1:30 next week. 1:30 next week.
We'll circulate the revised schedule for the commissioners.
All right, can I have a motion to,
Motion to adjourn.
all in favor?
Next Tuesday, 1:30.
Thank you, everyone.